So where and how can you connect to people on the outdoor industry spectrum? Obviously, websites. Every outdoor industry company, especially the ones here in the States, have a website. There's some companies I'm working with overseas in China that are trying to develop their brand. Don't even have a website. They just sell on Amazon. And I just got off the off my text message with one of the gals that I work with overseas in China, and they don't have a website. They don't know what they're doing. They're just selling on Amazon and hoping for the best. And I'm trying to consult with them on how to grind out, a website and how to drive American customers there and how to sell. Because if it's wholesaled in the United States or if it's retailed in the United States on a site like Amazon, delivery and that kind of stuff, they don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks to go to China, but or get something from China. But I mean, they've got to have better brand presence. So make sure the company that you're after has a website, even though if it's a real simple one. And I build a lot of simple ones for online companies or for outdoor industry companies. But you can find their contact info on the website. Call. You got to do a little bit of fact finding, kind of become a detective, figure out who to call, and I do this every day in my sales gig. Find out who makes the buying decisions for marketing. You want to ask for marketing and advertising people, and usually most receptionists that answer your phone calls or put information on a website like this will be helpful enough to at least show you the right person to talk to. Keep in mind, guys, whether you're coming from this from a company's perspective or a sponsorship, acquisition perspective, um, these guys get hit up a lot. And if you are on the other side of it, you're going to be hit up a lot with a lot of people thinking they can give something back to you for you giving them product or money or whatever, or services or whatever. Just keep in mind these people get bombarded, and if you are on the other side of it, you will get bombarded by people. The more popular you get that want to be part of your brand, want to be part of your company, want to be part of your pro staff. So what I try to do at first is leave a voicemail. I try to basically just come through and sound authentic and genuine, and basically just say, hey, I've been following your product for a while, been following you guys on social media, love to have a chance to work with you in some way. Here's what I've done for you guys so far. That gets people's attention, because people just put their hand out, like I said before, there's my hand, just trying to grasp stuff. In Eastern religion, it's called dukkha, which is grasping but never being able to hold on to it. That stuff's a big turnoff. And so the thing that I'm really big about, guys, is showing up with the value of things that you've done for them already before you even call. Hey, I saw you guys post. I shared it on my page. Okay, I've got some stuff I want to do with you guys in the future. I'd love to build a relationship with you. Those are the kinds of things to say, expecting that they know who you are and expecting that you they should bow down and worship at the ground you walk on and that kind of stuff because you're just this awesome outdoor industry personality. Never works. Okay, it hasn't ever worked for me, and there are a lot of people that still don't even know who I am, and that's fine. I really have the niche carved out that I want to play in as far as archery and crossbows and bow fishing and stuff like that, and I'm known well in those circles. But I don't really make a big deal out of I'm this big outdoor personality guy, and I'll talk about that more in the branding and message section. But just email to introduce or call to introduce. Leave a voicemail. Always leave a voicemail if you don't find them, and then follow up often. That's the next bullet point here. Be persistent but polite, and don't be a pain in the butt. Okay, I used another word when I initially wrote this slide, but I will not use that here because this is a family course, so I don't want anybody hearing me say any bad language. But don't be a pain in the butt, man. It's very, very simple. You can be effective and efficient without being a pain in the tail. Okay, it's called polite persistence, and I use it every day in my sales game. Okay, because I'm out there constantly pounding the pavement for sponsorships and advertising, people to run with us as an advertiser. I'm constantly pounding the pavement, but a lot of people have said to me, and this has come from countless sponsors that I work with, advertisers that I work with, Dustin, I appreciate you. You've reminded me, you've stayed in touch with me, but you're not a pain in the butt. And I've heard that so many times, and that's one reason why I'm successful in what I do in selling media, because I'm not a pain, because I show up, I follow up. How often do you follow up? every week to 2 weeks, one time, every week to 2 weeks. Don't call them every other day. Don't call them every day. Don't bother the crap out of them, because they're definitely not going to talk to you if you're that much in their face. But if you stay in front of them, and I mean that just by visiting with them in an email or a call or an instant message or direct message or whatever in social media, and just stay in front of them on a persistent but polite basis, you're going to do well. So there's some definitely places we'll talk about next where you can find these people, aside from just finding them on the internet, or finding their phone number somewhere, or finding their extension somewhere. But don't be a pain in the butt. Just follow. That's one thing I see a lot of people, number one, they have this entitlement thing that they believe they belong, with their company, and because they're so great in the outdoor industry and have such an outdoor reach, they should just have, everything handed to them. And that's not the way it works. You've got to provide value first. But you want to call, email, voicemail, be polite, but be persistent. That's my best advice there. Connecting with prospective sponsors at trade shows. SHOT Show is a trade show for hunting and shooting and tactical. You must be in the industry to attend it. It's pretty easy to get in the industry, though, as far as if you're just on the outside looking in. You can start your own media company, you can start your own brand, you can start your own anything like that, just to prove yourself as credentialed in the media world, or in the industry world, as a buyer or as a media person or as a seller or whatever the case may be. You can get in that way, but it is a little bit of a road to get in there sometimes, because everybody wants in. And the trade show with SHOT gets fuller and fuller every year. I think this last year at SHOT in 2018, when I recorded this is I think they had 67,000, I think, and then NRA show had 87,000, I think, and that was held in Dallas this year, so I drove there instead of flew. But I flew to SHOT in Vegas, and it's typically held in Vegas every year, has been for the last several years, and got to be in the industry. NRA show is a little bit different because it's a consumer show. It's for hunting, shooting, and tactical. All you have to have is an NRA membership to get in. What I do typically, since I am media and work for Texas Fish and Game, and then have my own brand and everything going on, I will get in with them, and basically we'll just get a media pass, so I can go anywhere I want to, and talk to anybody and record podcast or videos or whatever I want to record without getting hassled by the man. So basically, those are two different ways. Obviously, the NRA show is a consumer show, so there's more people, there's less barrier to entry, but the problem is everybody wants a ride on that train. Everybody that wants a sponsorship is going to be there hustling. So, SHOT Show is a little bit easier, but it's harder to get appointments with people. NRA show people beg to talk to you because they're tired of talking to consumers. That's what I've found. NRA is probably my favorite show of all of them. Before I get into ICAST. And then ICAST is probably second, and SHOT's probably third. But basically, those are the three shows that I go to every year. You can connect with me and meet with me if you ever want to go to those shows, and I'll give you some insider tips of what I do. We could have dinner or something. Just look me up, dustinsprojects.com. My phone number should be on my website, or my email definitely is. And it's just one of those things. So the ICAST trade show is the next thing. That's a fishing show for the fishing industry. It's a trade show, and I didn't have room to put it on the slide, but basically you must be in the industry to be in that. Media, seller, or buyer. Must have some kind of thing for the trade, but basically it's it's a fun show. It's a laid back show. The boat shows and the fishing shows here in Texas, and I'm just talking about my area of Texas because that's what I have the most experience in. They're good too, and they're a great way to meet people because they're consumer shows, all of them, easy access, but everybody can get in, just like I say in my slide here. The consumer shows like NRA and the boat shows and that kind of stuff are very easy to get into, very easy to talk to people, but the thing is the demand for people's time at these shows are amazing. So it's best to call and get an appointment, best to email and get an appointment, make some kind of, reach out to people and get some kind of, thing going, relationship going, and just kind of rapport, if you will. Some kind of relational, thing that you can basically get people that want to talk to you, want to meet with you, and so on and so forth. So that's vitally important as well, to just kind of develop that relationship in advance and then try to get an appointment to see them at the show. Appointments are always the best deal. Stopping by, you may miss them. They may be at lunch. They may be visiting with another vendor. they may be off talking to somebody else, and it's kind of hit or miss. And that's been my experience of the years that I've done these shows, and I've done them all. And I don't do any other retail shows outside of Texas as far as consumer shows, just because my time's limited, and I do these kind of things for on the side. So that's just kind of my basic thing. Try to get an appointment, try to set all that up in advance, try to make sure they know who you are in advance, and then seek to see them at the shows. And those are the three main shows that I go to shop: NRA and ICAST, and then the area boat shows. The Houston Boat Show has a summer and a winter boat show, January and I think June, and it's June when I'm recording this, so they're having it actually this weekend that I'm recording this. The summer boat show. The Houston fishing show is typically in March. That's just an example. There are fishing shows and hunting shows where you live too. It's not all about Texas. I'm just bringing that up because that's local to me, and since Texas is such a huge state, there you go. So, next video. All right, so we talked about the general sales process in another module. You want to greet, qualify, demonstrate, propose, close, follow up. Talked about this before. Those are 6 things, okay? It's really easy to memorize: greet, qualify, demonstrate, propose, close, follow up. I won't get into much detail because I go into that one in another module, but basically what you want to do is, be nice, tell them who you are, qualify yourself as being a person of value to them. All right, demonstrate what you can do for them, propose how you can do it for them, what price or what product you want to get, try to close the deal, or at least close a relationship with them of some kind, and then follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. This all has to do with follow up. The biggest mistake I've seen people make in this industry is not following up enough. Okay, it's just kind of blowing off. Oh, well, they'll get back to me. They will never get back to you. They typically never do. They're too busy dealing with their own stuff. Okay, if you are a company watching this, if you're aspiring to start a company or have a company you want to grow their brand, you've got to depend on people to follow up with you. All right, if you're trying to make a relationship with a vendor, if you're trying to make a relationship with somebody that is going to help you, you've got to follow up with them. Follow up is the name of the game. Follow up is probably the biggest mistake I've seen people make in relational things in the outdoor industry, is they don't follow up enough. Persistence but polite, just like I said in the last video. Persistence but polite. Polite persistence. Follow up often. Follow up. Stay in front of them. Make sure they cannot forget you. Okay, you will be unforgettable that way for sure. So it's just human nature. It's just the way it works. So greet, qualify, demonstrate, propose, close, and don't forget to follow up. Okay. Keep a spreadsheet. Keep a CRM, which is Customer Relationship Manager. Some kind of way. You can use Salesforce. You can use a wide variety of different CRM systems out there. Even just an Excel spreadsheet of who you talked to, when you last talked to them, when you followed up with them, and so on and so forth. And keep it as a living document so it continues to be relevant to you and keep you on task with being able to follow up with people, because you will see a lot of people. If you want to be successful at this, you will call on a lot of people, and the industry is huge. You probably will never run out of companies to call on, depending on what your niche is. But you've got to follow up. That's so vitally important there.